Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know that's this is.
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is
you don't know
yes
or no if the laptop.
I don't have any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
If Joe Biden knew how to fix the economy, if Joe Biden knew how to fix racial issues, if Joe Biden knew how to fix anything, why didn't he tell Obama? Right? You would think that if you knew how to do all of these things, you would have done it in the first 50 years of your Washington career, Joe. But he didn't do that. He didn't.
Well, you know the phrase better late than never? Well, it might not apply this time. CBS News, after 2 years and 2 elections, has finally verified the authenticity of the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop. When the story broke in the run-up to the 2020 presidential election, 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl repeatedly said the laptop could not be verified.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it.
Because
you want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
It can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
For more than 2 years, CBS News, 60 Minutes dismissed the bombshell reports about Hunter Biden's laptop. But now they grudgingly admit it is all true and real and authentic.
This looks like your classic disinformation campaign.
Eric O'Neill is a former FBI operative.
Who do you think is behind this?
Well, the Russians would be my #1 guess, if I had to guess.
Now, Republicans, desperate for anything to prop up the sinking ship that is the Trump campaign, are still stuck on this idea that Hunter Biden committed wrongdoing, and that's what's going to take Joe Biden down. If there ever was a more desperate strategy, I've yet to see it. Why the Trump campaign would think that this issue, of all issues, is worth relitigating is proof that they're either gluttons for punishment or just downright stupid.
The laptop data we had analyzed showed no evidence it was faked or tampered with.
And they hid this information to the detriment of President Trump and to the benefit of the campaign for Joe Biden.
I'm sure you've heard about the already debunked story from the New York Post about how some supposedly devastating emails were found on a computer that Hunter Biden had dropped off in a Trump supporter's computer shop on the other side of the country from where he lived. The point is that if they're going to try and recreate what happened in 2016, they might want to get just a little more creative than another email scandal. And they might want to take a hint that literally no one in this country is buying it.
This is real. This is real hardcore evidence. And it proves that Joe Biden knew about the exploit of Hunter Biden's business activities.
Yeah, it isn't about his crack use or his love of hookers. It is about what he's doing with 50 separate countries, including China and the Ukraine, that Joe is directly involved with, and voicemails to show that he knew exactly what Hunter was up to, and meetings to follow up to prove that he was a part of it.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence. This effort by Rudy Giuliani and the New York Post and Steve Bannon to cook up supposed dirt on Joe Biden looks like a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign.
The digital forensic experts recovered images of credit cards, a driver's license, social security number.
Just the sheer volume of what we're dealing with, it would be difficult, if not impossible, to fabricate.
I'm sure you've heard about the already debunked story from the New York Post.
You're confident, based on your analysis, this is Hunter Biden's data and that it's real?
Yes.
But they are part of a Russian intelligence operation in this country. Is that right?
Seems to be, Nicole. The Kremlin has a pipeline to the White House.
There were so many lies that were said by Donald Trump, but none of them more personal than the lie that Joe Biden made $3.5 million from Ukraine, and he kept going on speaking as if it were fact.
We have to acknowledge the fact that the President of the United States is supporting, is condoning, is welcoming a Russian intelligence operation in 2020. Nicole, this is collusion in plain sight. We don't need a special counsel. We don't need congressional investigations. The president is acknowledging it and welcoming it with open arms.
Experts say the emails cannot be authenticated. Some may have been altered or are fake.
We have no idea whether or not the emails are legitimate, but this whole operation looks right out of the Kremlin playbook. Hack and dump.
This whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son.
First of all, Adam Schiff is seriously the most pathological liar in all of American politics that I have seen in all of my time covering politics and journalism. He just fabricates and accusations at the drop of a hat, the way that other people change underwear. He's simply lying when he just asserts over and over that the Russians or the Kremlin are behind this story. He has no idea whether or not that's true. There's no evidence to support it.
Clearly, the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
The reason that they don't answer any questions is because the media has signaled that they don't have to, that journalists will be attacked and vilified simply for asking.
NBC News, CNN, and the Associated Press all now reporting that this junk about Biden that Giuliani got printed in the New York Post, that the president has been promoting, it's all now under investigation as potentially part of a hostile foreign influence operation illegally targeting our election right now in 2020. So, second verse, same as the first. Only this time the collusion with the hostile foreign power is just out loud in the open since he thinks no one will do anything about it.
Why does that alleviate the responsibility of journalists to evaluate these emails and to examine whether or not Joe Biden actually engaged in misconduct? But the much bigger point is the way this information is being disseminated. It is a union of journalists who have decided that their only goal is to defend Joe Biden and elect him president of the United States, working with the CIA and the FBI and the NSA, not to manipulate our adversaries or foreign governments, but to manipulate the American people for their own ends. It's been going on for 4 straight years now, and there's no sign of it stopping anytime soon.
This laptop is not Russian disinformation. So what are you talking about here? This laptop is real. It's not just the laptop. There's other emails. There's text messages. They are real. So according to the U.S. government, the FBI has verified this.
Everybody to look at that, but that's not what we're hearing from the FBI.
Why don't you want to report this? This is one of the most powerful families in Washington, the Biden family. And you're okay? You're okay with our interests being sold out to profit Joe Biden and his family when we're suffering during a pandemic from communist China? He's doing shady business deals with communist China. You're comfortable, okay?
As you know perfectly well, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I follow the facts. And there has never been any issues in terms of corruption. Now, let me ask you this. Yesterday, the FBI...
Wait. How do you know that?
I'm talking about reporting and any evidence. I'm talking to you now.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that digging and start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you. I want to ask you a question. The FBI,
it's a journalist's job. It's a journalist's job to find out if this is verified.
So the Trump campaign will continue to throw these absurd Hail Marys. They'll continue to cook up more phony emails and secret payments and backroom deals, and there won't be any proof for any of it, but they'll be too desperate to care. Of course, if they were able to win on the merits, they wouldn't have to try and BS the American people, but they can't, and they are putting that on full display with moments like these.
Make no mistake, it is the scandal of the year if Joe Biden received payments held by Hunter from the Chinese. Talk about foreign influence, talk about conflict of interest, talk about collusion. These are communists we're talking about, Chinese communists. How does Joe Biden explain this? Oh wait, he won't have to because the mainstream media are corrupt and won't ask him.
This is for my white trash, the ones the whole world hates, the ones who voted for Trump that got labeled racist but ain't, the ones with bald caps, make America great, who love their country to death and struggle on minimum wage. Hey, they're angry that illegal aliens taking work that maybe they could get.